Good morning, it's me again, Daryl. I'm going to be putting a tire. I got a new tire for the V-Star 650, my daughter's bike. This came in a while back. I just haven't had a chance to get it on. I've been too busy with the rest of the bikes, and she doesn't have her license yet, so there's no big hurry. But I've found myself with a little bit of time this afternoon, so I'm going to do it. So I can get that bike out, roll it around, and put it in storage. So I'll take you along with me, and hopefully I'll explain to you how I do the tires. Okay? So we're going to go over a few things you're going to need. First of all, most importantly, is a tire. This one is a Shinko SR777 HD. Didn't cost that much. So, yep, and you need a rim. Well, I got Windex. This is Windex, but it's not Windex. It's just Dawn dish soap and a bit of water for a bit of lubricant. So sometimes I use rim protectors. They go on there just so you don't scratch your rim up. All they are is just a little cuppy looking thing and just pops over your rim. Of course, you'll need a tube because this is a spoked rim. Got a 19-inch tube, heavy duty. Spoons, at least, maximum at least 2 anyway. 3 would be nice. I never ever use 3, but they give me 3 in the set, so I'm going to use them. You're going to need something to take the valve stem out with and put it back in. And there's the other end here. Let me get that tire. So the other endy thing here is for putting on the valve stem itself so it doesn't fall back into the tire. I'll show you that in a second, but we don't need it because we're going to have a bolt on there. Yep, baby powder. We're going to use a bit of baby powder. I'm going to show you how. Not on me. And a plastic bag. It's getting interesting, eh? And a bucket. So, first thing I do is determine which way the tire is going to go on. So what I like to do is, there's where the brake is. The brake is on my right-hand side. I take the rim, put it on so the brake is facing me. I find the tire. It says rotation, that way. So the rotation of the tire is this way. So that's the way I'm going to put the tire on, facing that way. So, okay, let's back up a little bit, and we're going to tell you, this is a 19-inch tire. So from here to here on the inside is 19 inches. This is where your tire seats on the side here. Little lip of the tire. So I'll get you this way. So there is where your tire sits, down in here. Now this has to be really nice and clean, because if not, you could get, a little bit of dirt or something in there, not on a tube tire, but on a tubeless tire. You get anything in here, you could end up with a slow leak. With a tube, it really doesn't matter. You're not going to get a slow leak, because unless you puncture the tube, you're going to be fine. But this is what they call the valley. Now, this is where people find it hard getting a tire on, is they don't keep the opposite side of the tire down in the valley. So from here on this side to the same thing on the other side down here, is 19 inches. This is 20 inches way up here on the top. You're over 20 inches. So to get a tire, a 19-inch tire will not go over a 20-inch rim. So if you stick one end of it down in to the valley here, you gain an extra inch. So you'll be able to get the tire on. That make sense? So, okay, we'll show you. So what I do, go back, where's the tire rotation, goes that way, brakes on this side. I often do this up on a bucket, but I'll do it this time. So I get the tire, so it's in that little valley. I should be able to do this with one spoon, but I won't. I'll try it with two. Yeah. She's a slidey around thing, isn't it? So it's going. I'm going to bring you over here a little bit. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So there's the little bit that I've got left. So what I'm doing is I'll reach under here and I'll make sure that that tire is up in the valley. Put my spoon over a little bit. I can almost push that right on. When that tire is up in the valley, I can almost push that right on there. I get a little bit more lube. Pop right in. It just slid right on. So now what I'm going to do is take my tube. I've got the valve stem and everything on, the cap on. I'll take my little plastic bag. So take some baby powder. A good shot of baby powder in there. Put your tube in. Give it a bit of a shake around. So there. So we're all coated with baby powder. So rubber on rubber is really sticky and it's hard to move this thing around. If you put a little bit of baby powder on there, it seems to slide a lot better. So where's my valve stem? It's right there. So lift up on this side of the tire. Move it over a little bit. Can you get my fingers in there? Okay, there we go. Spin that around so you can see. Just kind of push the tube in, and hopefully it doesn't, you don't get it flopped over or folded over on itself. Be patient. Get it in there. Get it all tucked in. Push it down below the edge of the rim. Come on, baby. Down there. Come on. Easier said than done sometimes. But there we go. No, we're not. There we go. We're down the other side of the rim. Now get my valve stem. This is the hardest part of the whole tire change, I find anyway. Getting that valve stem through that hole. But there it goes. So there it is. I got it through the hole. So now it comes with another nut. So what I do is I put the nut on. We get the nut on. It don't have to be tight yet. Just get it down snug. So now what I'm going to do is take some air and just put a bit of air in the tire, or in the tube, so it makes sure it goes right in around and sets properly in there. Now, take the valve stem out again. Oh, it's already out. All right. Take the valve stem out. And now we're going to work on putting this side of the tire on. I'm going to try not to do it with any lubricant, but we may have to. I find it very hard to do on this bucket, but I got you up there. So, and with all the baby powder, even if you're, you're sweating and all that stuff, you actually come out smelling nice. And your wife will say, "Oh, gee, you were working out in the garage?" You'll say, "Oh yeah, I worked really hard." And of course she won't believe you. So just be careful that you have the tube and you're not pinching it. Get it down in under. And I keep my knees on here to try and keep this part of the tire down in the valley. So we're going to start to pull the tire up now. Here we go. There we go. So that's how much tire we have left to go. So this time when I put the spoon in, make sure the tire's down. And there we go. Keep the tire down in the valley. Over to this side. Baby steps. Just baby steps. Keep the tire down in that valley. Squeeze it down as best you can. I actually picked the bad side because I should have done it the other side with the brake on the other side so I could get the spoons in better, but we'll get this. Yeah, we'll leave that spoon in. I'll get that down in the valley. Down in the valley. A little bit more. Squeeze your tire down into the valley. So right here we're going to put a bit of lube on there. Get that last bit over the bump. Come on. Down in the valley. Get down in the valley. Come on. Get down there. And there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, not easy peasy, but we got it. Valve stem. So we will get a wrench, tighten that up. Millimeter. We'll tighten that up. Oh, I got my little valve stem. Put it in there. Put you over here so you can see what I'm doing. I can't even see what I'm doing. We get our, where is it? Right there, this one. Our valve stem in. Tighten our valve stem up. So, put about 32 pounds in this one, front tire, and then I'm going to put the cap back on. There we are, done, tire changed. Now, one thing I did not mention is, since this is not really a new tire, I already had this on once, and when you do get a new tire, there's usually a little red dot or something on here. You line it up with the valve stem. So that is the part where they, it's the heaviest part of the tube or the tire. So they want it lined up with the valve stem so it's balanced. This one I've already had on once, and I end up screwing it up and pinching the tube and had to take it off, and that's what I mean. I've been waiting all this time for another tube. I got it, and now I've put the tire back on. Hopefully this one holds air. I don't think it was me that pinched it, because I still got the tube over there, blowed up with air, but it's not going flat now. But when I put it in the tire, it would go flat in about 2 months. It took 2 months for it to go flat. So I don't know what was wrong. It was just porous tire or porous tube or something. So we tried it again. So now I'm going to go balance this thing, but that'll be another video. Okay. So I hope this helped. Like I said, I forgot to show you or explain to you about the little dot there on the tire. So I did have a kind of a mark on it, and I'll give her a balance, and we'll see how that works out. Okay. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Take care.